guys. It's been a while since I made a video. Today is the day after Christmas, so 12/26/2025. Hope anyone watching this had a good Christmas, whatever you ended up doing. Hair looking crazy as it's starting to get longer. I've never had my hair this long, so I'm just not used to having to actually do something with it. So it just kind of looks bad right now. I guess before I get into the topic I wanted to talk about today, which is more just, I guess, of an encouragement rather than something strictly from, or quoted from the word, it is Christmas itself. I'm sure any of you who ended up saying this know the debates between people who don't celebrate it anymore, or those who do still celebrate it, or those who celebrate it in a certain way. I don't know, I feel like maybe not entirely giving my opinion on how I celebrate it now, but I do want to say that as I've grown older now, and I don't really care about presents anymore because I'm not a kid anymore. It just kind of hurts, to see that it feels like everybody around me is kind of forgetting what the meaning is. That it's about Jesus. It's not about gifts. It's not about drinking. It's not about this or that. Like you see all those nutcrackers and stuff. One over there too. Thinking next year I'm probably not gonna even put decorations out except for that that right there. That's a manger set. Because I don't know, to me it's just all this stuff and decorations that won't actually have to do with Jesus. I guess don't make me angry, but same time it's like, why did I put this stuff out really? I don't think I have anything against a tree. Like, I don't think I would get a bunch of ornaments and decorate a tree, but if I wouldn't mind like getting a tree with lights on it still or something like that. I don't have one now, but it's because I didn't feel like spending the money on it. But yeah, I wouldn't mind having like a tree and like a manger set or decorations like that up there, like a cross or something like that. But a lot of people, I wouldn't say especially Christians, because I guess I'm just going based off my own personal experience with family. So I don't know much about people my own age, I should say. But older people who grew up with a tradition more of, gifts and Christmas time and Santa and stuff like that, it's just it is a little sad to see that nobody really cares about Jesus anymore when it comes to the holidays. Do a little prayer before the meal and something like that, and then it's right back to, everything else. So I just want to give encouragement to any of you feeling kind of weird or down about the stuff going on in the holidays, that you're not crazy. You're right. Most people have forgotten the real meaning and are deviating away from what they should be doing. Now, if you want to give like a gift to like your parents or your sibling or something, that's just a little gift or something like that, that's fine. But if you're making it about the gifts you give to other people or you receive, then that's not good. Just felt I should give my 2 cents on that, since it is actually the holidays and Christmas. I haven't made a video in a while, as the last time, a couple times I had made one, I mentioned some medical problems I was having, and I'm still having, and I guess good news but also bad news is that technically still don't know what it is. good because that means it's not like, oh, I need to go to the emergency room right now and to have something like removed or something, or like all the different tests I had came back negative. But bad news, obviously, it still is. Don't entirely exactly know what it is. I have guesses of my own, but obviously I'm not a medical doctor. If I were to say exactly what I have, it's probably some form of stress-induced myalgia or something like that. But that's really my only guess towards it. But yeah, it's not important, just given the reason why I haven't really been making videos. My topic for today is fighting against yourself. This has really been a topic for me lately that I've been going through, as I said before, and I think I said it before in one of my videos before this one, that when all this stuff started happening about a little over a month ago, that it really brought me back to God. Because before I was, like addicted to games or whatever I was doing, pretended like I was doing the right thing, and really I was only reading the word for like 10 minutes a day, maybe pray once before bed, and that was it. It just wasn't good. And since then, I haven't played or touched a game. I haven't, trying to think, there's something else. I haven't gone to the gym anymore since then. There's a bunch of things I stopped doing, and part of the reason for the gym thing was also obviously the health problems, but also things like lust and money, because the gym I was going to cost a lot of money. But lust. I don't want to sit here and bash every single woman that ever existed that goes to the gym, but I will say a lot of women my age wear things that are not appropriate. That's all I'll say. And so, it gets hard to not, see or look at anything in every which direction. And, excuse me, so I stopped going to the gym as well. Been using my apartment they have a little workout room in the apartment office building. But anyways, fighting against yourself. The main sub-point that I wanted to include in that is it's something you need to learn how to do sooner rather than later. Because if you wait till later to learn this, it's going to be much harder, because at that point your heart is going to be much more hardened over time. Whatever that might be by, as well as by addictions to things like, I don't know, alcohol, partying, whatever, sex, whatever it is. Fighting against yourself is, to me, of course, as I have time off now for like a week and a half due to the holidays, very tempted to go back to playing games, but I won't, because I know, well, I shouldn't say won't. I might give it a try for like an hour or something on one of these days, but I won't allow myself to, go back to how it was before, where it was like 4 or 5 hours at the end of every single night or something. It's too much. But yeah, it's like fighting the temptation to just go to playing games every single time I'm bored. because you can't see it, but I actually moved my work setup over to where I had my games set up, so my games aren't even my gaming computer is not even set up right now, and I don't feel like setting it up either just to play games. So, it's fighting against myself in that way to not play games every single time I get bored. My phone, I have struggled with, not picking up my phone every time I get bored. Struggling within myself to pick up this more as I get bored. So actually, you can see this, I've started highlighting in it. I think I want to get a newer one that's a bit bigger, where you can actually, there's margins to the side of each page where you can actually write in. I think I want one of those. It's just wherever you are, whatever it may be, fighting against yourself might be fighting against the urge to drink, the urge to go out and party, the urge to give into pornography, the urge to video games, like with me. I've been very lucky. Like I mentioned many times now in my experience, like a year ago, that I don't fight against the urge to, watch pornography because the Spirit basically took it out of me himself. That wasn't me just being a good guy and giving it up. That was God literally just, taking a spoon, a knife, I don't know, and just, digging it out of me. But fighting against yourself is not easy, because it's, especially when it comes to, at the end of the night, you're alone, you're bored, you don't know what to do with yourself as your mind's going kind of racing and crazy and stuff, and it's just, you don't want to sit there alone in your thoughts. And that is when you should pick up this. Highlighter fell. Pick up this. Pray to God. Talk to God. That's what a lot of people don't even know that they can do. It doesn't have to be you're bent over praying like this, which you should do, obviously, but sitting there actually taking however long you want to just talk to Him, informally. At least for me, obviously when you're actually praying like this, it is formally, but informally, you should learn to talk to God that are separate from, prayers. But however you want to do it, you don't have to do it like me. That will help quite a lot, talking to God about your problems and how you need His help. And that's part of the struggle, is knowing that, God is there, but you're still having these struggles. And the reason for this is God is refining you, like He says I know it's in Revelation, but I know it's somewhere else as well. I want to say Zechariah, but that doesn't sound right. Maybe it's Malachi, where God mentions, He will refine us through fire. For whatever reason, obviously it's to make us like spotless gold, as it says, because, obviously if worse things are coming down the line towards you, God is going to let battles come to you now to strengthen you for whatever is coming down the road. He may allow battles so He can refine you, so you're better equipped to fight sin and temptation, whatever it may be. But, excuse me, as a sinner, sorry, I keep having to cough. As a sinner, I can't sit here and say, oh, I don't need to be refined. I'm good as I am. We're not good as we are. Even as we're refined through tests and trials as we live, we're still not made, obviously, 100% spotless like Jesus was. So, you're going to go through things in life, as Jesus said. Jesus himself said, in this world you will have trouble. But then, he also said, do not fear, for I have overcome the world. Struggle is going to come. And in those struggles, you need to realize that you must fall on him. Fall on him whenever you're feeling lonely, depressed, even when you're just bored, when you're feeling those struggles in yourself, when you're fighting against yourself to not do like one of those several things I named a minute ago, just go to him. And I know that there's some weird inner deep part of us where like we don't immediately want to go to him about it, but you gotta realize that it's really the only way. We can't fight sin or temptation without God's help. And, if you need, what am I trying to say? If you need inspiration on people who did such things, it's in here. Like King David, with his temptations that he went through and the sin he committed, but he would always go back to God for help. There's the entirety of the Psalms. Obviously, David didn't write the entirety of the Psalms, but in it, David, marks struggle within himself, struggle against other people, struggle against, stuff, but like I'm trying to say, struggle within himself. It's not easy, like Paul said. The good I want to do, I don't do, and the evil I don't want to do, I end up doing. Wretched man as I am, who will free me from this body? It's always going to be a struggle. It's never going to be, of course, there might be times without struggle in your spirit or mind or whatever, but you're not going to go through like the entirety of the rest of your life without it. So it's good to be prepared for it. You need to know how to put down temptation that enters your head. However, I'm not going to say how you should do that. That's up to you and God, between you and God, how you want to do that and handle that. As it's, I believe it, Paul wrote it, I can't remember entirely where, but take every thought captive and give it up to God, It's not easy to do that. The gospel writers and the letter writers like Paul, Peter, and John, and James, and Jude, they never said it was easy, or that it was going to be easy at some point, but they tell you what to do. It's not something that you should view as too hard, because at that point, you're not allowing God to move in and give you some help, if you're viewing it that way. Because God gives you help, as Jesus says, to come to him. My mind's like blanking at the end of the Sermon on the Mount. I believe it's there. I'm like trying to go through my head all the things that Jesus said, because lately I've been reading like from the beginning again of the Bible. So I've been reading a bunch of Old Testament stuff lately, so my head's scrambled. My yoke is light and my heavy is not burden. My heavy is not burden. My burden is not heavy. My mind is right now. But yeah, regardless of how I say it, Jesus is saying you gotta come to him with those battles and allow him to move in to your heart and help you. Because you're gonna fail if you don't let him come in and help you. It's not thing you should try to fight yourself, as I have tried to do my whole life, especially when it comes to fighting against like anxiety, fear, and lust. Those three things specifically. Excuse me. It's really just what I've come to learn is it's not winnable by yourself. Ever. So, as I say, learn to fight yourself. It is, with God's help. You should also be able to handle some of it on your own, but obviously you're not going to be able to handle the full thing on your own. And by some of it, I just mean, don't immediately fall prey just like that to every single, temptation. But, as you struggle against the temptation, you give it to God. But I hope anyone watching this has a good weekend after Christmas, whatever you're doing. I hope some of you watching this have off next week. Thankfully, I do. I usually reserve all my PTO. Well, not every bit of my PTO for this coming week. But most of it. Random little side bit of information. If anyone has ever been to, I'm actually thinking of this sometime next year, around this time, maybe after Christmas, this time next year. I want to try and go overseas to somewhere like Japan. I would really, when I go there, like to visit like churches or something like that. One of my quote unquote, I guess, dreams, if I could work in like ministry or something like that, would be to be why is my mind blanking? Missionary to like Japan or something like that. That would be really cool. But I say that because, if anyone's had experience with stuff like that over there, leaving a comment would be appreciated. I know, obviously, the biggest thing is learning Japanese, but just stuff other than the obvious. The biggest part is if I go over there on a trip, just on my own expense. It's pretty expensive. That's why I'm waiting an entire year to go there. I got to save up for a while. But yeah, if anyone has had experience with anything related to that, I would appreciate it. But I hope you all have a good weekend.